10 toxic girlfriend behaviors that men ignore. Big mistake. You can't force attraction, but you can create moments that make her think about you when you're not there. A truth many men take years to finally admit. It's not that you didn't try hard enough. It's that you tried for the wrong woman. You were there whenever she needed you. You listened to every emotion she had. You texted first, apologized first, and kept lowering your ego just to hold the relationship together. But the more you did, the more you faded. She replied slower. She cared less. And one day you realized you were still present in her life, but no longer existed in her mind. Have you ever felt that? Sitting right in front of her, yet her eyes weren't really there? You talked, but she didn't truly listen. You tried to fix everything, while deep down you knew the truth. What was disappearing wasn't the relationship, it was respect. When a woman no longer respects you, attraction disappears with it. Men often ignore small toxic behaviors in the early stages. Not because they're stupid, but because they hope. They hope that if they're patient enough, understanding enough, good enough, things will change. But relationship psychology doesn't work that way. Attraction doesn't grow when you give more. It grows when you have value and are not easily replaceable. The issue lies in presence, scarcity, and contrast. When you're always available, always there, always revolving around her emotions, you create no space. Without space, her brain has no reason to remember you. Without contrast, you blend into the background instead of standing out. And the moment you lose scarcity, you lose attraction. In this video, we'll break down 10 toxic girlfriend behaviors that men often ignore, and that is a big mistake. Not to blame women, but to help you confront the signs that quietly erode your strength, confidence, and life direction. These behaviors aren't loud, they're not dramatic, but if you ignore them, they will turn you into the weakest version of yourself. There's one thing most men who fail in relationships have in common. They lose in one big moment. They lose gradually, slowly, one small compromise at a time, choosing to ignore red flags because they're afraid of losing her. Tell yourself, it's probably nothing. Everyone has moments like this. If I'm just a little more understanding, it'll be fine. But every time you ignore it, you step further away from being a man who is respected. The first toxic behavior men often overlook is constant testing of your value. Not through direct questions, but through actions. Showing up late to see how you react. Going cold to see if you panic. Going silent to see if you chase. Many men think this is emotional testing. It's not. It's a power test. And every time you respond with anxiety, apologies, or over-explaining, you're telling her your position is beneath her emotions. The second behavior is making you feel guilty for having standards. You want respect, you want clarity, you want consistency. And she calls that controlling, sensitive, or overthinking. This is subtle manipulation. When a woman makes you doubt your own boundaries, you start dismantling your value system just to keep her. The third behavior is only showing affection when you're about to leave. Normally, she's distant. But when you go quiet, when you get busy, when you stop being available, suddenly she becomes warm again. More caring. This is the strongest dopamine trap. Psychology calls it intermittent reinforcement. Random rewards that make your brain addicted to hope. And countless men have wasted years chasing those rare moments of warmth. Fourth behavior is never taking responsibility. Every problem is caused by circumstances, by you, by someone else. She never truly apologizes. She explains. She justifies. A man cannot build a future with someone who refuses to own her actions. The fifth behavior is keeping you in constant uncertainty. No clarity about the relationship. No defined role for you. But she doesn't let you go either. This is how you're kept as a backup option. When you accept ambiguity, you trade peace for hope, and hope is never the foundation of attraction. Now let's talk about the psychology behind these behaviors. Women aren't trying to hurt you on purpose. The human brain seeks control and emotional safety. When you're too predictable, too available, her brain doesn't need to invest. No investment leads to no appreciation. No appreciation leads to no memory. That's why the harder you try, the further she pulls away. The sixth behavior is disrespecting your time and goals. Interrupting your work. Complaining when you focus on self-improvement. When a woman forces you to choose between her and your future, she's choosing her present emotions over your long-term value. The seventh behavior is constant comparison. Her ex, men on social media, someone else's boyfriend. Comparison is a sign of chronic dissatisfaction. And you can't win a game where the rules change every day. The eighth behavior is making you shrink yourself. You speak less, dream less. Stop being fully yourself because you're afraid of upsetting her. The moment you have to make yourself smaller to be loved, you lose your core attraction. The ninth behavior is making her emotions the center of your life. Your day is good or bad depending on her mood. This is when you lose your internal axis. And a man without a value axis will never maintain long-term attraction. The solution isn't arguing or controlling, standards and action. Step 1. Observe behavior, not promises. Behavior never lies. Step 2. Set boundaries and be willing to walk away when they're crossed. Boundaries without consequences are just words. Step 3. Build a life where you are the priority. When you have goals, structure, and direction, you naturally become scarce. Step 4. Stop trying to save people. Strong man doesn't look for someone to fix. He looks for someone who can walk beside him. You can't force attraction, but you can create moments that make her think about you when you're not there. Take a moment to look back at everything we covered, not to blame any specific woman, but to recognize a deeper truth. Many relationships don't end because of a lack of love, but because the man lost himself trying to hold on to someone. You're not destroyed by one big action. You're worn down day by small toxic behaviors you allow to stay. Lesson 1. Any behavior that makes you question your worth is a warning sign. Love doesn't make you shrink, doesn't silence you, force excessive apologies, or leave you constantly wondering what you did wrong. When a relationship takes away clarity and peace, it's not connection, it's dysfunction. Lesson 2. Boundaries don't kill attraction, they create it. A man who can say no, walk away, and protect his time carries powerful presence. Not because he's cold, but because he's not desperate. Lesson 3. Scarcity comes from a life with direction. When you have goals, discipline, and clear values, you don't cling to anyone. And when you don't cling, you become hard to replace. Contrast isn't created by tactics. It's created by how you live. Lesson 4. Don't try to fix someone who requires you to sacrifice yourself. You're not a healer, you're a builder. And any relationship that demands you give up your future to keep the present is not worth continuing. Finally, remember this. The right woman will not test you with chaos. She won't make you chase, guess, or doubt yourself. She will feel your presence even when you're not there because you've built a life worthy of respect. If this video helped you recognize a behavior you once ignored, subscribe to the channel now. Not for the algorithm, but for a stronger, more grounded version of yourself in the future. And leave a comment with the keyword, "I set boundaries," if you're ready to choose self-respect over attention.